Hello, friends. This is the Grow Podcast, and I'm Wendy Jo, and this is Ashley.
Hey, Wendy, how are you?
I am doing all right. A little wired at the moment, honestly.
Yeah, we talked beforehand. I won't tell all your business, but you had a busy night, I heard.
It
Um,
was. It was a busy night. I got to tell you, the healthcare system is even more broken than it was before. But you and I are going to fix it. I really believe that.
yeah, I'm here for it. I really am. Partnership made in heaven.
Yes, yes, definitely divine intervention. Uh, so this week we are talking about sound and music and the 6 healing sounds of Qigong. I interviewed Maria Chowdhury about that. But I wondered, what your thoughts are about sound and music and spirituality.
I think that sound is like spirit dancing. Um, Energetically, that's what it feels like. And it's so
Mhm.
powerful. I think it's something that has gone extremely mainstream, and people, one, may either take it for granted, or two, don't realize the power that they're experiencing in the presence of sound. And so I love every aspect of what sound has to offer.
Mhm.
My The other thing is like some people are very sensitive generally to energy. My kids are very sensitive to sound. I'm generally sensitive to energy.
Mhm.
So it matters how I receive sound and in the context by which I receive sound. So like, you know how people go to those sound baths and like they can sit there in a room full of people. I
Uh-huh.
walk out having a full like profound experience and everybody's like, oh, that was so relaxing. I'm like, golly, I just went on a vacation or something. I don't.
Well, yeah. So for you, it sounds like the sound brings you closer to the divine, maybe, and maybe deeper into meditation or takes you to other places, which is really cool.
Yeah. It is. It's really cool. I like it. The thing that I struggle with is when I have those moments, I need time with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to decompress it because then it just feels like I've been blindsided in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because it never makes any sense, right? Like, or it's so exhilarating, it's unbelievable, and
Right.
so really take. I think that's like for me, I'm a Pisces, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my head all the time. So like I need to create grounding for myself after having those type of experiences. And so
That's important. Mm-hmm.
people, it stops me from being able to do that.
Right. I wonder if also just the energies of the other people, yeah, it kind of like, it doesn't, maybe you need to have those experiences, in a solitary setting rather than with all that energy around you, you know.
And I think and the practitioner matters, and then yeah, the room where all the energy is as well, that matters too.
Yeah. I know my wife Angela is really sensitive to sound. She's a musician and an artist and incredibly sensitive to sound. Like we go into places sometimes and she's like she can't even stay, because it's just she's so sensitive.
Yeah.
And I think there are people like that. I also think it really can be a path to healing for some people. I'm taking a course this weekend in brain spotting. I'm very excited about that. It's a modality that I've wanted to have in my toolbox to help people. Um, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but it's really a great way to heal from trauma without having to talk about it.
Mm.
And one of the things that they use to stimulate bringing out what needs to come out is sound. And it's sound that's in earphones that alternates.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah. And then you use a pointer to find the different reflexes. And when you find them, that's usually where the trauma is being stored.
Wow.
So in this interview, Maria is a wonderful Qigong practitioner, and she reviews one of the organs that's really vital, and the sound that goes with it. And it really resonated with me, and I think you will all learn a lot and enjoy it. So that's coming up next. Wendy Jo here with the Grow podcast. So we're talking about the 6 healing sounds of Qigong today, and sound in general as it relates to spirituality. Really, sound affects all aspects of the human spirit, from physical to mental, emotional, and spiritual. Think about the sounds that you surround yourself with. Do they promote wellness? Do they lift your spirit? Do they affect you emotionally? You can always make changes if you need to. Returning back to the show is Maria Chowdhury, owner and proprietor of Path with Harmony and Birthsong Botanicals. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes.
I love it here.
I love it when you join me. And today we're talking about the 6 healing sounds of Qigong, which I know nothing about. So I'm excited to learn today. What is meant by the 6 healing sounds of Qigong?
Honestly, if I am midwifing to you the 6 healing sounds of Qigong, it feels like a high holy honor, because Qigong is, just to let you know, that it emerged from the Tao, from the universe, right? Its roots are in ancient Taoist shamanism, and its branches are in traditional Chinese medicine. And there are thousands of styles of Qigong.
Wow.
And there are many, many variations of these 6 healing sounds. But Qigong has been like documented and been around for like at least 4,000 years. I'm not exactly sure when the healing sounds came in, but early on.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start to do your research and learn about healing sounds, there'll be slightly different variations of these sounds. But in essence, the cliff notes of the 6 healing sounds is in Qigong, when we practice medical Qigong, when we're working as Qigong as an energy medicine practice for self-healing, for personal cultivation, to reduce stress and to have more energy and to bring harmony and vitality into our lives. One of the practices that we practice is the healing sounds. And in Qigong, we focus on the 5 yin organs. These 5 yin organs, we focus on them because A, they're essential to your life, but also because a yin organ is paired with a yang organ. And just by the nature of yin, when you pay attention, loving attention to the yin organ, and it fills up with good energy, positive healing energy, it will just naturally nourish the yang counterpart. But it's not the way. If we just send a bunch of energy to the yang counterpart will just receive it, and it won't just naturally nourish the yin. So because the yin is really gorgeous. Yin creates form and it directs yang energy. Yin is like, yang, come here. And it does that.
So I've heard
yang energy. Yeah.
I've heard those
together.
words. Like, we hear those words a lot, yin, yang, right? That's like the balance. I'm right. So, yeah. But that's very interesting. So if you nourish the yin, the yang benefits, but not the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yang is great energy. They're both so essential. It's just when you're learning to be a healer and you're learning to self-cultivate. So Qigong is an internal art, right? And so when you're learning to take care of yourself from the inside out, then you want to do it in an effective way. And the most efficient, effective way is to start with the yin, and it'll feed the yang. And so that's the most efficient, effective way to work with your energy system. So these 6 healing sounds are really awesome. So each organ has a sound and a color associated to it.
Okay.
In brief, your lungs. Your lungs have this beautiful color of white pearly light.
Mm.
And when your lungs are healthy, you're inspired by life. You have healthy immune system, you have healthy boundaries, there is a sense of courage, there's a sense of confidence, right? If your lung qi is depleted or excessive, but it's not in harmony, mainly depleted, you have these weakened immune system. And then you also have collapsed boundaries. You don't really know where you end and they end, and you're overgiving and you're losing yourself and everybody. And have a tendency toward being depressed, just being sunken and just low energy, depressed, weakened, and sick. So in order to harmonize and keep your healthy lung qi, we can do all these physical movements. We can take herbs, we can breathe, and we can practice healing sounds. And these healing sounds work in the 3 layers of your body. You have your jing layer, your physical body, this form.
Mm-hmm.
You have your emotional layer, this formless part of yourself. We call that your chi layer. And then you have the spirit consciousness layer of yourself. It's the spirit layer. It's called the Shen layer. So these sounds work on all 3 layers to create harmony within the organ or the organ system or the emotion. So in this conversation, we're not going to have time to go into all of them.
Right.
But we can talk about the lungs, and in a moment, I want to hear your question, but in a moment, I'll be happy to share with you what the healing sounds can do, and you can practice them and feel them in your own body and have a direct experience of this ancient self-healing practice.
Right.
But since you're brand new to it, what questions do you have?
Right. Well, I can relate to what you said about the lungs when they're not balanced. I learned, I'm not sure where exactly, it may have just been intuitive, that if I, for instance, have some kind of pneumonia or cold or something in my lungs, depression, like all of the things that you mentioned are what I experience. And so in doing healing work with others, I'm always concerned about breath and the quality of their lungs, because I think that it can be a really background sort of negative pull on the body when your lungs are not working properly and when the exchange of air isn't very good. And of course, we've just come out of this pandemic, which, maybe we're out of it, I don't know, it's still sort of hanging around, which affected breathing and lungs. So now you've got a planet full of people with potentially some lung issues, some they may not even know about, right? So I definitely think that there could be something to this, and I'm excited to experience the sounds for sure.
So you're so right. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had just your own experience of realizing, oh, when I'm not breathing well, I don't feel good on every level, right? And that would be the same if you had issues with your kidneys. The healing sounds, we have a healing sound for the lungs, for the kidneys, for the liver, for the heart, for the spleen, and then for the triple warmer. And so each one of these sounds has a frequency and a vibration, right? In the Qigong perspective, there were 5 great gongs, like 5 great vibrations, boom, through the universe that created the physical forms of the universe. And these are the sounds that create our form and our body. And they're also related to the elements. They're related to so many things. This is one practice that opens up a vast, beautiful healing practice. So when we're working with the healing sounds, there's 3 layers. You have the physical organ, you have the emotion and the grief, and then you have the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so in our lungs, let's just practice. We'll do
Let's do
3
it.
breaths.
Okay.
If you're fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're going to do is the sound for the physical organ
Mm-hmm.
to create, like I've just been really sick with congestion. And so in order to get my congestion out and clear my lungs, I did this sound. And it is spelled Z, Z, Z. It's like buzz without the B part.
Okay.
Zzz.
Oh, okay. Zzz.
Okay. So yeah. So what you're gonna inviting to do is to take a nice deep breath and inhale deep into your lungs. And then when you're ready to exhale, you make the sound. And you're ideally wanting to feel vibration in your lung.
I could feel the vibration. Mm-hmm.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Let's try it again.
Mm.
And now just sense and feel. And to bring in the healing sounds, often you bring in the color, white pearly light.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this one more time, and then we'll draw in the color. So here's the thing. The sounds are cleansing, they're clearing, they're detoxifying, they're purging. They take the funk out. They move it out. You might do it and then need to cough or blow your nose or something like that.
Sure.
And then the color is tonifying, strengthening, fortifying, amplifying. So if you're not feeling good, you don't just put the color on there. And first of all, you're not putting color. You're not putting color. You're removing anything that is not that color. That color is inherent within you. You're a colorful, dynamic being. And we're not pouring white light onto us. We're clearing everything that isn't that. So that's what the sound is doing. It's purging out things that could be grief, sadness, all that stuff, and funk. So here we go. Let's try it one more time.
Okay.
And then when you feel ready, you inhale and you bring your hands close to your chest, and you can feel your lungs, kind of to feel where your energy body is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're connecting with this bright white pearly light.
Mm.
And you're breathing, and as you're breathing in this bright white pearly light, it's filling your lung, the front of your lungs, the back of your lungs, deep inside, down to your diaphragm, this pearly white light. And in your palms of your hands, the lung meridian travels through the inside of your arm to your thumb. And so the palms of your hands are filled with this white light. And when you get good at this practice, you learn how to fill your meridian lines with white light. And this right here, just being in this white pearly light after you've done the vibration, is really good for the physical lung health.
Nice.
Right? It's a self-healing practice. But then if you wanted to take this deeper and you wanted to work with your emotional component, you would do the same sound, but it's more of like an S, and it's softer. It's like a whisper.
Oh.
You want to try that one?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do that one. Just take this nice deep breath.
That feels really different than the other,
Uh-huh.
so the other sound I wanted to say, as a therapist, I've done some chest PT on patients, right, where you get the percussion going. That Z sound, it feels like that just by making the
Mhm.
sound. So you kind
Mhm.
of like I can see how like my throat feels like I want to clear it a little bit. I can see how you're bringing that out of the lungs. Also, when we did the part with, kind of expelling what wasn't white light, I could see it so clearly, the darkness areas, and just trying to expand the light. Very, very cool. And I love self healing practices because we're all healers.
Mhm.
Even if you're simply, and not so simply, healing yourself, you are a healer. Your body heals itself. We're all healers innately.
Mhm. And yes, and I loved how you get to feel the distinction. And so in your own practice, you just do it as many times as you want to, right? If you need a prescription, do at least three vocal Z sounds, three soft S sounds. And then the final piece, the spirit realm, like if you're trying to fall asleep and your mind is overactive and you're doing these loud vibrations, that might kind of still be real active. And then if you're doing this emotion, that still might be real active. So then the third one to help you fall asleep and to go into this even more subtle realm, it's that S sound, but you're making the sound inside yourself. It's
Mm.
almost barely audible. It would sound something like this if you could hear it.
I'm not hearing it actually. So
Right.
it's not
It's
something. It's
a
a
whisper. Like it's a inside your own self. And so like you're imagine you're trying to fall asleep. Your mind
uh-huh.
is and say you even sleep with a partner. They're
Hmm.
already asleep. You don't want to wake them up
Right,
so you can
right.
practice your qigong. So you do it silently,
Uh-huh.
right? Inside yourself between with you and your own spirit.
Oh, I see. Right. So you can hear it in your mind. You can
And
hear the sound.
you can feel the vibration.
Hmm.
It's
Right,
just on the subtle level. It's
right,
in the subtle spirit realm level.
right. I love that.
And
So
that
many people
connects you.
have difficulty with that. Their brain is full, they can't shut it off. So I love finding techniques people can use to clear that so that they can get some good sleep or even just tend to other things rather than
Hmm.
what's going on in the head. Mhm.
Hmm. And so the lungs, what we practiced today was the first one. There are 6 healing sounds, and that is, it goes into each of the organs to clear physical, to heal physically the organ, emotionally, and spiritually. And then the final one that you learn in the practice is the triple warmer. And what that does, that connects your head and your heart and your body, but it integrates you as one being, but
Mhm.
it also clears out other people's energy out of your energy
Oh,
system.
nice. That's
It
good too.
clears out the
Yes.
news, it clears out the grocery store, it clears out the whatever, and it clears so you're integrated in your own energy.
Wonderful.
And so
So,
that is an introduction to the 6 healing sounds.
yes, thank you. It's a new world for me, and I definitely want to learn more. So, do you offer courses where you go through all of the sounds?
If you join me and practice Qigong, you will learn the 6 healing sounds. You will learn them either in your learning portal, there's an introduction to it, you'll learn it in the practice. So we'll work with each season and each organ, you'll learn all the sounds, all the colors, all the reasons, when to do them, when not to do them.
Excellent. And if you could just state your website where people can connect with you.
Sure, it's pathwithharmony.com.
Wonderful. Always a special treat to connect with you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hey there, Wendy Jo, co-host of the Grow podcast. Also, Wendy Edge, occupational therapist. And I wanted to tell you about my new business where I'm combining the principles of occupational therapy, coaching, and spirituality and wellness, of course. On the website, you'll see that I'm doing Osho Zen card readings, spiritual coaching, spirit paintings, and so much more. So if you want, check it out, edgecoachingandconsulting.com.
Have you heard of the Cannabis Nursing School? It's a place where cannabis nursing, entrepreneurship, and spirituality meet. The High Align Tribe is waiting for you, and it's so easy to find. CannabisNursingSchool.com.
And we're back. Well, that was a great interview with Maria. I love, it really resonated with me when she was talking about the lungs and how they hold sadness and depression. I can really relate to that anytime that I've had illness in my lungs, like it's just down. Yeah. Have you experienced that?
I haven't experienced that, but I do know that I'm a new Reiki practitioner, so certain sensations have been very new for me. And I've noticed that when I'm around people, it's a difference between sensing and absorbing. I think we had a conversation once about that for me. And right now I'm in a place where I am being intentional about sensing it. And when I sense emotions in other people, I actually feel it in different areas of my body. And so like a lot of times anxiety shows up in my back and my shoulders. And it doesn't have to be my own. It can be other people's anxiety goes up there. So I can see where like internally certain areas of our body would hold certain sensations and they may lay dormant if we don't release them and move them and all those kind of things.
Right. And the sound to help clear it and the light, so each each organ has a sound and a color and a light. So it's like white light, as she said. But the sound, I can't stop thinking about it, which makes me think that I need to do that. Like it's this zzz sound. I hear it like I'm going around the house. I have to tell her. So there's something about it that really resonated with me. So it's very cool. And, maybe she'll be back to talk about some of the other organs, or you can definitely check her out at Path with Harmony, Qigong. So yeah, very cool. Well, I hope everyone has a great week.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.